What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. I'm going to talk about some very, very key levels to watch for. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30, and the offer ends at the end of March. Anyways, as far as the market's going, as you could tell, SPY is on a very, very big downtrend right now. We're trying to form a base at 580, but there's no guarantee it's going to hold forever. So when we open, we'll see if it pushes up a bit. But then if we do end up losing 580, we're looking for a move back down to 575 to 573. And I just want to make it very clear that the market will eventually price all of these tariffs in and will eventually bottom, but there's no true confirmation yet that we have bottomed. So there's still that risk of downside when you follow the price action. So that's me being very, very honest about this, what's going on so far. So just keep in mind, we have the economic optimism report at 10 a.m. coming out. Besides that, there's nothing too crazy, but I just wanted to say that the big factor causing this sell-off has been the fact that the US is now collecting a 25% tariff on nearly all goods from Mexico and Canada starting at 12:01 a.m. For today, essentially. So that's some very, very big news. Canada energy products actually have a 10% rate, but besides that, everything else is 25%. And that's a big shift in economic policy. As a result of these tariffs, it's going to be affecting a lot of different countries. It's going to be affecting us and our trade. And keep in mind, there's a lot of reasons for why this is happening. There's actually like a lot of talk involving, what Donald Trump is thinking and his reasons behind this. You guys can actually see it right there. But I'm not here to talk about every specific detail. I just want to say that what happened, and now we have to look at what the result is. And there's now a lot of talk about retaliation from Canada. So Canada is going to be imposing 25% tariffs on $107 billion worth of American goods. And then on top of this, about $20.7 billion worth of goods have been basically taking effect immediately. But there's about $86 billion worth of tariffs now that they're going to be imposing in the next 21 days. This is according to Trudeau. So Canada is retaliating, and then Mexico may also retaliate. They may make the announcement on Sunday, so just keep that in mind. That is some big news. Donald Trump is also going to be giving a speech in front of Congress at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time today. And what he says could cause more volatility, so get ready for that. Like I said before, we just have economic optimism and nothing else that's too crazy coming out. And then as time goes on, we just have Targets and Best Buy announcing earnings alongside other retail. We also had CrowdStrike coming out later on. But just keep in mind that we had a mixed earnings, at least for Targets. We had a $2.41 EPS above expectations, but their revenue is also decent. I would say it's a little bit better than expected. And their guidance was very close to expectations. So I would say pretty so earnings from them in the middle. With that being said, what do I see at least for the market right here? In my personal opinion, I think that there's a big downtrend that's being respected. At least on SPYs, we had a high here. We came down, made a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So when we open, we're looking for this to attempt to push a bit. And if we can't, if the SPY can't get back above at least 585, we're going to be at risk of continuing to fall towards 575 to 573. I don't think we've bottomed yet. We'll see if we can hold 580, but I think we push a bit and then we might be starting to dip. And if 580 fails us, then we're going to be looking for a move all the way down towards, 575 to 583. The move has been essentially for the last 6 out of the last 7 days. The market pushed in the morning, then dumped as the day went on. So that's the trend so far. Unless SPY could close or hold above 585, there is a good chance that we do try to push closer to it, but then we could get a big rejection, continue to fall. If we don't hold 580, we're looking for 575 as our target to 573. So keep that in mind. A pump and dump is very possible, and the market still looks very heavy. There's a lot of fear with these tariffs and the retaliation by Canada that's causing this big downside move for now. For the QQQ, we're seeing a big downside move as well. We're going to be watching to see if we could hold around this 493 area. If that holds, you want to see us reclaim 500 and 505. If we don't end up reclaiming 500, it could just be a temporary push before another big rejection. 6 out of the last 7 days were basically us pushing in the morning, then getting a big rejection. So we'll see if we push towards 500 and reject again. Then we could start dipping all the way down to about 490 and 485. So just keep that in mind. There is that risk of downside. On the Russell 2000, there's also risk of downside because when you zoom out, we have a very, very clear looking, let me just double check something, a very, very clear left shoulder head and then a right shoulder. We could see this continuing to fall. I want to see if we could hold 205. If not, we could be dumping closer to the low 200s. The head and shoulders is still there, so please keep that in mind. For ES, we're on a bit of a downtrend as well. This is continuing to fall, so just keep that in mind. We're going to be looking to see if we could hold 5,800. That's going to be the main support right here. So watch to see if we hold this and what kind of reaction we get. For now, we look a bit more bearish, so just keep that in mind. NQ's on a big downtrend right now, so we'll be watching to see how things end up developing. Watch the support at 20,000 just to see if this holds. If not, this could remain even more bearish. But I do think that I want to see this reclaim 20,500 to see an attempt to bounce. If we can't do that, we're looking for a move down to about 20,000 flats as we're looking relatively weak. So please be careful with NQ. Bitcoin's rejecting. It tried to bounce and it got a big rejection since yesterday. We could be dipping all the way down towards 80,000. So the crypto reserve news was actually very, very good news for Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is basically leading the rest of the crypto space right now. But the issue that we have is that there's still a lot of fear amongst these tariffs. And it's kind of just following the market for the time being. So keep that in mind, guys. Sometimes this happens. It is what it is. Nothing to panic over. We will eventually form a bottom soon, and then we'll be looking for a big move after that. But for the time being, we're looking for potentially more selling, especially if we lose support. Nvda, it's making lower highs and lower lows. I would like to see it reclaim 115 to 117 to attempt to rebound. If we don't end up holding above that, we could kind of push and reject. There's going to be a risk of us dipping all the way down towards like 105 and the low 100s, especially if we get that big like rejection. So just keep that in mind, guys. There's a very good chance that that is what could be coming for the time being. For Tesla, we are looking weak. We're making lower highs and lower lows. We're watching that 270 area to see if we could hold. That's where we have this previous resistance becoming support, so very, very key support. If that does not hold, we're going to be at risk of dipping all the way down to like the 250s. So be careful, guys. Tesla's still relatively weak. I'm just here to give you guys, the facts and tell you what the information is suggesting. So keep that in mind. For just a few more, we have Apple. It's holding this trend line. So see this trend line bounced and bounced off of this. If this holds, we're looking for essentially 242. If not, we could be dipping towards 235. For coin, we're on a bit of a downtrend as well. We're looking for essentially 200 and 195 as our support. So just keep that in mind. Amazon's on a very, very big downtrend right now. We're watching to see if 200 holds. If not, we could be dipping closer to about 195. Meta, it's on a downtrend. This may also dip lower towards 634 if that fails, if it doesn't hold support. For Microsoft, we're on a downtrend. This could also fall all the way down towards 380, so keep that in mind. Google also could be dipping towards 166. That's also another strong possibility. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, the VIX is still elevated. The market is still weak. I want to just make it very clear the market will eventually bounce. It's eventually going to base and bounce, but we're not ready yet. There's no confirmation of the chart yet that we're completely based and we're ready to get a big bounce. What tends to happen is we push a bit in the mornings, then we get a big rug pull. So we'll see if SPY can reclaim 585 or not. If we could hold that, that would be a good sign. If we can't, it's just going to be another pump and dump move. There could be another big rug pull all the way down. So watch and see a small push attempt close to 585, and we'll see if you reject. If that's the case, and the 580 fails, so we're looking for a move all the way down to 575 or below. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you guys very soon with another update, and peace out.